In an ideal world for information and intelligence sharing pertaining to economic crime, I see probably four things we have to do. The first one is a strong, enabling legislative framework that allows people to share information in a way that has protection, but allows that to happen in an effective and efficient way. The second area, as I see it, is a strong technical support that enables people to do it in a seamless fashion. I also see that the third thing is about being proactive for a really clear, tangible outcome. And that is about being efficient, it's about being effective, it's about being quick and agile. But it's not just about criminality, it's about a strong business sense, about understanding the systems, because then that's where we can bring the interventions. And why do we do all of this? To protect customers, to protect the public, to disrupt criminality, to take criminals' money and to make the UK a safer place. At the moment, we have a plan and not a vision. And the vision for me is about how are we equipping people across the United Kingdom to be ready for economic crime 2025, 2030 and beyond. How we do that is about strong enabling legislation. And I think we are going to have to question issues such as Turnier, 1924. We are now living in 2021. So we need to address the digital explosion, all of that information that's sitting on systems, and how do we better deal with that in terms of enabling legislation. Also, to do that, we will need the best technical, infrastructure and systems to support us going forward with that. So I think it's a combination of legislation and about technology. I'm going to look at three things: the vision and the infrastructure, the harnessing of the power of the whole system, and thirdly, about the narrative and the public education. When I look at the vision and the infrastructure, the legislative framework could probably change within the next 12 months. And I see a real need to expedite that going forward. And that is about ensuring that particularly the private sector, the whole of the private sector, and that means banking, financial services, telcos, tech sector, they all face the same challenges. And it's about a level of protection which is appropriate, that allows us to actually address the risks at the front end of the system. Because if we do that, we reduce the demands on law enforcement. If we do that, we actually afford people the appropriate levels of investigation, because the whole system actually deals with it. The second thing is about the whole system. There is no one part of this system will address the issue and create the opportunities on its own. So for me, it's about looking at the opportunities in the tech sector, in telecommunications, in banking, in law enforcement, bringing all of those and the very best of all of those together and looking at a whole system approach that actually disrupts and dismantles criminality throughout the whole system. And the final thing I would say is that the whole system actually will not be as successful as it could be if we don't have the public on board. And for me, that is about a different narrative. This is not merely about the banks and the financial services, but the narrative is about public education. It's about creating a suspicion. It's about people actually challenging criminals. And it's about us talking about fraud and economic crime in an entirely different language. The next economic crime plan needs to be transformational in terms of a system approach. What I mean by that is that the systems that allows tech, telecommunications, banking and law enforcement to talk to each other in an effective and agile way, in as close to real time as possible, sharing bulk data in a way that is legitimate and lawful, will allow us all to actually make the right interventions. If we make the right interventions at the right time, we will disrupt criminality. We will take money from criminals. We will protect customers. We will protect the public. We will actually reduce the levels of crime across the United Kingdom. And if we do that and take the money that we seize and prime the system, we actually have an opportunity to be one of the most probably globally successful countries in the world.